So, Saji Prelis was here first time 3 years ago as a presenter, and since then we have partnered in many various positions. And please, Saji, can you talk about the work you're doing in Search for Common Ground and the partnership we have together?
Well, thank you, Ingrid. I'm honored to be here with so many wonderful colleagues who are doing some wonderful work as well. I'm going to spend a little bit of time in the brief moments I have with you to talk about 3 trends and 3 different kinds of partnerships. The first trend that we see is that we work in conflict-affected countries. And in conflict-affected countries, we've heard from the keynote speaker too, that the problems are more complex. But yet, the world is more connected now. Even though the world is more connected, it is also young. The challenge with this is that despite the connectedness we have, we are yet, in some places, more connected than others. In other places, despite the amazing connections, people are not feeling connected to themselves or to their common humanity. And we see this more and more in conflict areas. I work for an organization called Search for Common Ground. It's a conflict transformation, peace-building organization that works in about 35 countries around the world, and we are in our 34th year of existence. And we're in really good partnership with Partnership for Change. We're actually engaging on multiple levels. So the first kind of partnership I want to talk about is the work we are doing at a country level, where we work in partnership with youth organizations, women's organizations, and the media. And why is this important? If I said the problems are complex in conflict areas where people are feeling more and more marginalized, and their relationships to the state, their relationships to each other are being pulled apart. The fabric needs to be stitched together more delicately. And that takes a lot of creative, innovative ways of doing that. So, for example, in the Congo, we have Democratic Republic of the Congo, Burundi, and Rwanda, 3 countries bordering each other, where we have a youth-led radio program that is broadcast live every Saturday afternoon, coming together. So the partners from each of the countries, youth organizations, and media organizations coming together to broadcast and spring the broadcast in each country, talking about issues that really matter to them, whether it's around sexual violence issues or around issues of LGBT. In a country where lesbian, gay, bisexual people are being harassed and tortured or killed, young people are actually having a constructive discussion in partnership with the radio stations. And why radio? The power of radio, unlike television, is that it enables you to imagine while you're listening to the other. And it enables you to put yourself in that person's seat almost. Television puts the image for you to see what it is, whereas radio enables you to hear and imagine that. And in sub-Saharan Africa, a lot of places in sub-Saharan Africa, radio is still a very powerful tool. The other kind of partnership I want to talk a little bit about is an interagency effort. So I talked about country-level partnerships. Now I'm talking more internationally. Recognizing the complexities cannot be addressed by a single organization like Search. We need all of us at international level and at a local level, working together to address these complexities. So we've been able to bring together most of the major UN agencies. So UNDP, United Nations Peacebuilding Support Office, UNDESA, UNICEF, and others coming together, along with a lot of civil society, international NGOs. We've also able to get youth organizations to come together, to work across agencies, to create a more collaborative atmosphere for engaging. Why? Because we as international actors have to be far more accountable to the people we serve locally. But that has to happen at an international level where we can understand the evidence. We talked about research and evidence. What's the collective evidence out there around engaging in conflict areas with young people, for example? And how can we build on it to become more accountable? So we've created a set of guiding principles. I mentioned it earlier as well, based on how agencies can actually, 1, understand why it's important, and 2, in what ways to engage young people. This is an international coalition of agencies and individuals coming together to say, how do we work across dividing lines, even within agencies, to make that change happen. The third kind of partnership is, I said earlier that we are more connected today, and it's growingly young. Young people connect in different ways. So besides the partnership models we've heard so far, and what I have shared, there's another emerging trend where people are trying to connect online. How do we enable that part to happen? How do we strengthen that, but enable that to have its own ownership, instead of us as agencies trying to control it, or facilitate it, or manage it? How do we get people who are creating these ideas to actually spur more things, creativity, without trying to control? And that's something we are looking at with, the title was called Battle for Humanity. It's an online portal that we are trying to get millions of people to come onto, but yet to be inspired by others, but to take action offline. So it's based on science, based on game theory, to get people to come back online, engage with each other, get inspired by others, but then take action offline where they are creating solutions in their own community. And that's a different kind of a partnership model that we have to look at. And in closing, I wanted to talk a little bit about some challenges, if I may. We, as organizations, come with, these are based on individuals. We go with massive egos. We have massive egos. We think we can solve these problems. And I think as we look into the future, we need to start reducing our ego and even thinking about our own organization, because we cannot individually solve the complex problems that we face in today's world. We need to, one, reduce our ego, and two, trust each other's ideas and be able to work with each other. I think that's one of the things with Partnership for Change. The model of partnership, I think, is so critical because the problems are much more complex than any individual or any organization can handle. So, and lastly, with that challenge is the opportunity. The opportunity to do something innovative, the opportunity to do something new is needed. 21st century problems cannot be handled by 20th century organizational models. Right now, in developing countries, we have 20th century and 19th century organizations trying to tackle 21st century problems. Who are we fooling? Come on. We have to remove ourselves from our shells, be honest with ourselves about the mistakes we made, and challenge each other that we can be more accountable. We can do things better. So that's my challenge to all of us with this partnership model, is that we need to first reduce our ego and realize we can do a lot of good things, but our good intentions can cause harm. How do we reduce that? And engage with each other more in human ways. So I thank you for that, and I look forward to the conversation.
Thank you.